All right. So then, you can't hear, and now I can't hear you. Wow. This dude. Okay. Technical errors. I can't unmute your mic. It's not letting me. It's disconnected.
Can you hear me now?
Okay,
welcome to the Kibby Show.
You know what? This is what we're going to do. Strike that, reverse it, start over. See you in a second. Bye. Hey, y'all. Happy Friday. Murphy's Law is in freaking effect. Can you believe it? It is Friday, February 11th. I am KibbyRose. I am your lesbian Authortube psychic stoner. I am here doing things a little bit different today. I have a special Authortube guest who is going to be introducing her book. And let's get on with the show, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Miss Jinne Noble. Hello.
Hi. Hi. Now that we got sound, we're good.
Professionals. What do you want?
We are professional.
Professionals around here.
We're not sure what kind of professionals, but we're professional.
So I have Jinne on tonight because somebody did a slip of the finger and decided to publish the book a little bit early. So we shifted up the timing of our interview to accommodate accordingly. And I don't blame you because frankly, I totally see myself doing the same exact thing. So
I was tired. I was fixing the front cover and it says save and draft or publish, and I was tired and I hit publish, and that's when my world went, oh no.
I deleted my entire photo library of like 20 years doing exactly that because I was on the phone with a friend. So like I said, I sympathize. I could see myself easily doing it. But since we're getting into it, would you like to tell us a little bit about your book?
My book's called Beastly. It is a paranormal romance. Deals with Trueborn, which are witches, and shifters. It does have humans in it, of course. Sierra is our main character, and she, at first, is not in the world of shifters and Trueborn. She was raised by her human grandmother, and she ends up literally running down a shifter, and come to find out he is the one that's been asked by her aunt to watch her because he's a guardian, and guardians watch over shifters and Trueborn and humans of the family to make sure that they're safe until they find their soul bond. And he has to watch over her because there is somebody hunting down Trueborns and shifters and using them for experiments.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. So she goes from a nice, normal, quiet life as a store shop owner and gets thrown into pure chaos and violence. And
very.
And yes, Maya, there is romance. It's a paranormal romance. So there is a lot of sexy time. Well, at least 3 really good sexy times in there. So
oh, that's hilarious. So it is a romance / adventure / mystery
/ kick-ass kind of mystery. Yeah. I mean, you know what's going on throughout the book, but yeah, there's a few parts in there where you go, wait a minute, they aren't supposed to be the bad guy. So yeah, there's a couple of twists and turns in there.
All right. Well, okay. So we got a couple people popping in. So I just want to say hi to them real quick. Cora's here saying hi to everybody. Maya, we just answered your question. Actually, she was asking if there's any romance or love to in the book, and we just answered that. And she sold.
Yay!
With the name like Beastly, you kind of gotta expect something being in there a little bit. That's
Beastly's kind of a joke, as you'll kind of realize in the book, because she calls him that just to kind of irritate him. So, because he kind of acts a little beastly and overbearing at first, and kind of gets in her personal space, so she starts calling him that just to kind of irritate him. Yes,
Beauty and the Beast. No, just kidding. Sorry, Disney. I'm just kidding. Number 2, hardest scene that what was the hardest scene to write, mentally or language dialogue wise?
There's a scene between her, between Sierra and a guy that likes her, and it gets pretty aggressive and no sexual assault, but really close to it because Zale comes in and rescues her. But yeah, it was a little hard to write, and it's actually was when a friend was reading through it and doing some editing, it was the only chapter she didn't have to edit because I had it down pat and everything, and I'm like, because I worked on it for so long because it was so hard for me to write, but it was part that had to be done to get rid of this character. So
and I think all of us authors have one or two areas of the book that we're kind of like, I'm not so eager to write about this part. This isn't going to be pretty,
right?
So what was the funnest scene to write then?
That kind of goes with one of my favorite characters, because Marla is a trueborn, and she's Native American, and she's a smartass. So they're kind of in a situation where she's talking to Sierra, and the asshat comes into the store and thinks that he's all cocky and wants the attention, and she kind of verbally goes off on him and just kind of makes him stutter, and he ends up leaving the store because she just kind of embarrassed him so much, and it's one of my favorite parts.
Oh, nice. And did you write it as one of those scenes that was comically, like a, you have to have a certain kind of comedic humor, or does it come off pretty blatant?
It'll come off pretty blatant. She's very blunt and straightforward, but it comes off really funny.
Oh, awesome. So it's not like a hidden innuendo type thing. It's very,
it's very straightforward
in nature.
Yeah.
Is she more of a narcissist?
No, she's just doesn't like beating around the bush, and she just figures she's just going to speak her mind. She doesn't care what other people think. So.
Okay, well, going in with that, what were some of the scenes that you wish you had a chance to expand more on? Were there any that you would want to go back and write differently now that you've thought about it?
Maybe some of the action scenes, maybe make them a little bit longer and more in depth.
More descriptive.
I think. Yeah, a little bit more. But I mean, I did those I went over those pretty a lot. What?
When comparing your action scenes to your scenes, which one is that where you're like, maybe I should have done a little bit more description in the action versus when you compare them?
Oh no, the sexy time scenes are pretty descriptive enough. You know what's going on.
And the action scenes are kind of lacking. So
well, I don't think they're lacking, but I think I could have expanded on them more, had more done. So
it's kind of funny. I know where your head is. She definitely spent a little bit more time on the sexy scenes than she did on the action scenes.
It is a romance. You kind of do that. People expect that a little more.
Bonnie is popping in saying hi with a heart.
Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie. So what character was the hardest to write then? Was it the one with the essay?
No, actually, he wasn't. The one that was the hardest to write, if I tell you too much about him, it'll ruin the storyline.
Okay, then can you tell us why maybe it was the hardest to write?
Because he's the one that you really don't expect to turn tables to.
So he's kind of a double agent of sorts.
Kind of, yeah. So you don't expect what he does.
So he's kind of like a snake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where he's coming off of one direction completely, and in the end.
Yeah. And he was hard to write, but he's one of my favorite characters. I mean, I have several favorite characters, but he's one of the ones that he was hard to write, but he was fun to write.
And which character was that?
That's Pace. That's her.
Pace.
He's her employee. He is bisexual. He changes his appearance quite often. One day he'll be completely goth. The next day his hair is rainbow colors and he is way out there. Yeah, I love
my favorite color, rainbow.
His personality is awesome, and him and the moment that Marla does the little sarcastic thing in the store, he's literally on the floor rolling, and then she'll make a remark and he just gets worse. So
so he's very is he the comic relief, would you say?
In the beginning, maybe.
Smart. I like the way this intriguing. I like it. So what techniques did you use then to develop the characters? In particular, the one you struggled with?
See, when I write, my books start out with just characters. I don't even have an idea for the book. I pick 2 characters and I write them all out. And then I go kind of from there.
Don't you also do card reads for them? Tarot card pulls?
No. When I do short stories, I do tarot card pulls. But my main stories I haven't yet. But yeah, I start out with characters and I kind of go, I'll sit and think about what they look like, and then I try to do their personality. And it's kind of like I almost do an outline of just the characters.
Is it like in your head? Is it that old bubble effect that they taught us in school, where you put the name in the middle and then you do the lines and you just expand out like the bubble?
Sort of, yeah. And then I do a whole backstory on them, and then I figure out their personality and where I'm going to stick them in the book or how I'm going to stick them in the book. So
I've had to use that technique for some of my smaller characters, simply because I need to simplify the backstory so quickly. So I love that technique. So that technique was the most useful. Do you have any other ones like Book Bible or anything like that?
I'm supposed to have a Book Bible because there's going to be 9 books to this series.
How did you live without writing a book Bible?
I have Scrivener, so I have everything in files on my Scrivener. But I should have a book Bible sitting in front of me.
Dude, I have to have it. If it seriously, if I wasn't able to go back and look at it written, there's so many times I've flipped through that darn thing. I don't know how. Girl, that's impressive.
Well, I was actually thinking about working on it this weekend because I really do need it sitting in front of me with all the characters. But see, when I switch stories on Scrivener, I move over all the characters that I know are going to be in the book and then their background, the family members and all that. So it's basically, Scrivener kind of has a book Bible thing going on as it is.
Me, I can't have it all on the screen. I gotta have some of it written. I'm old school. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I have this, and this has notes in it, and I will keep, because when I start a story, my outline and my characters are all on paper. I just don't have it organized to put in a book Bible, which is what I need to do. So,
well, Bonnie's popping in with congratulations. Exotica, hey y'all, how's everyone? We're good. We are covering Beastly because Miss Jeannie released it early. Okay, it's Jinne Noble for all of you who are looking for her book. For those of you who don't know, I know Jeannie personally. Jeannie is the name I gave her simply because that's what I started calling her, and it's worked. It's been our little thing. So it is under Jinne. And do you have the link? Do you want to add the link to?
I just posted it.
Sweet. Okay. Bonnie's coming in with Mind Map, which is kind of like what we were talking about. Cora's coming in with the congratulations as well. And guys, here's the link. Don't go to it now. Stay and listen to the rest of it because we still got a couple more things I want to talk about. But
now, with the premature thing, hitting the button, the paperback is available right now. The ebook doesn't become available until tomorrow.
Sorry, you said the premature thing, and it just reminded me of a lesbian TikTok that okay, thanks. That was funny.
Sorry.
Let's keep that word. That's like moist. Yeah. It's like there's certain words there.
Okay, I hit it too early, and they wouldn't let me change the date of the ebook and any earlier than Saturday. So Saturday the ebook will be out, and so will the paperback, and everything will be fine.
So all of us out there that are Authortube publishers, keep this in mind. Don't at midnight decide to make changes to your book and think that you're going to be able to distinguish between the buttons on Amazon, because we all know how hard it is to add things to our cart versus our wish list anyway. So to try to think that you're going to outsmart the whole, oh no, this was meant to be, if anything, like truthfully,
I'm looking at it this way. It's February. It's a romance novel.
and and the more I think about it, it's like the psychic in me is just like, okay, like I just switched from YouTuber to psychic, and it was just like, no, everything happens for a reason. Maybe she's not the one who pushed the button. Maybe we just took advantage of her hand because she was half asleep, and boop.
Yep.
So it's like there's times when angels come in and they're like, maybe that wasn't necessarily an accident.
Maybe not.
So we'll see what happens. You never know. Everything happens for a reason. I truly believe in that. So what areas did you have to research, if any, and why? Why do I have a feeling there's not much about this topic that you had to research?
Well, Trueborns, I really didn't have to research too much, but
in the bottle.
I did research some lore on KibbyRose, which is the New Orleans version of shifters, but I also looked up but I kind of made the shifters my own, because when they shift, it's not the painful shifting. It's not you lose your clothes. It's all pure magic. Right. And the magic is basically alive. So it's almost like a divine or an entity in itself. So when they shift, it's like a smoke that surrounds them, and they shift gracefully. And when they shift back, they're still carrying they have their clothes. They still carrying whatever they're carrying. So it's all magic. It's like a different level of magic. So
it's a different frequency magic.
Yeah. I didn't want the whole painful shifting and have to deal with nakedness, because that's just, I like the idea where the magic kind of takes over and they're one with it. So
well, it's kind of, I know entities that live in that kind of frequency, so that's just interesting, because that's wow. How about that? Anyway, besides, angels show up with their clothes on. Like, it's kind of funny. It's almost like when I do readings, angels show up in their outfits, like their favorite clothes. So that totally makes sense to me. That's cool that you did that in your book, Jeannie. That's cool. Okay, anyway. So which were I have a feeling I already know what the easiest parts of your book were to write.
The easiest parts?
The easiest parts.
The easiest parts was actually, you're wrong. The sex scenes were not easy to write.
Really?
They were actually the hardest for me to write, other than that one chapter. The sex scenes were the hardest because I didn't want erotica, and I didn't want it to be slow, and I wanted something in the middle. So it's kind of half the feelings and half the visual. If you understand what I mean.
Back and forth between giving the scene and then so discussing the emotional responses between the two characters.
Right. And I didn't want it to be overly extreme. I wanted it to be kind of just graphic. In the middle where,
overly graphic.
Overly graphic.
You wanted to give them enough to give them the movie in their mind, but not so much that the book becomes R-rated.
Right. That's exactly what I wanted.
I understand the balance. I have, in my second book, I have a scene like that I'm going to have to figure out the balance of. So what part of the development of the book frustrated you then?
Oh, the editing.
The editing?
But it was the line editing.
We're going 4 for 4 now on authors, and the most frustrating part being the editing part.
Well, and it's not just editing as a whole. It's I'm horrible with punctuation.
I'm horrible with tense.
Horrible with punctuation. So, well, tense is an issue too, because I sent my book to Sako, and she picked out 3 pieces that were still in the wrong, or one piece that was still in the wrong tense, and I had to fix it. So before she formatted it, but
I'm so afraid
tense is difficult for me, because when I write my first draft, it's in present tense, and I need to switch it because the book is in past tense, basically.
Oh.
But my hardest thing was the punctuation. Punctuation with dialogue is a big thing. So I actually Pro Writing Aid was my best friend for a little while because it helped with my punctuation,
Smart.
and so I threw it through that, and I did not realize how little I knew about commas. So
Yeah.
so I fixed all that through Pro Writing Aid, and it seemed to have helped a lot. So
It almost seems ridiculous how many commas you have to use.
right.
You know, like I actually, like, to the point where I was just like, is this absurd? Like, is this absurd? No, this is the way it's supposed to be. Because my mother is an English major, so she was very much about, like, she actually had her master's in English. Music was her secondary, so the fact that she was a chorus teacher was very surprising. But oh, was she on our butt when it came to, you know, English stuff? And I remember her being on my butt about commas and just feeling like she would, you know, she would fix all the commas for me in the book, in whatever I was writing, if she was looking over it, and I'd be like, really? Like,
I know punctuation is my downfall. It really is.
and tenses, no, absolutely 100% tenses are my downfall.
See, it's kind of a balance between the two. I have a hard time with both. So,
well, if the editing was the most frustrating, what was the easiest?
The outline, because I based my
the
outline on the
beginning of the
characters and stuff.
book.
Yeah, well, because my outlines, though, when I outline, I do beginning, middle, end, as basic as can be, and then I build off of that, almost like a snowflake method. So it's like I make that longer, and then I divide it into chapters.
Yep.
And then I outline each of the, or not even outline the chapters. So by the time I'm done outlining, it's like a first draft almost.
So you're a plantser then,
mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, yeah, that's how I am too. That's awesome. So then, how do you not have a book Bible?
I don't know. I have no idea, because I remember a lot of
basically what a book Bible is.
I know, and I remember a lot of the stuff, and I keep it on my Scrivener if I have to look back at it.
As soon as I hit like the 70,000, no, it was the 60K. It was right after the NaNoWriMo. That's when I hit it, and I was like, wait, I'm forgetting stuff. I'm forgetting details. Crap. And I realized that I was spending far more time going back and searching the chapters than I was writing. Just for like one key piece of information. It was just like, oh crap.
My thing is, what's funny is, you know, after I've gone through the book so much that if I forget something, I know what chapter it's in, that I can get the information from, so I can jump to that chapter and look real quick.
I was like that up to a point, and then it was just like, I don't know if it's just because my book does have a lot of freaking details in it, so I don't know if it's just because every chapter you're basically learning something new.
I mean, this is just the first book in a series of 9 so far.
Yeah, I have, and I'm kind of I started out with like 3, and now I'm wondering if I'm going to be like you, where it's going to end up being like, because when you wrote this book, did you already plan on it being 9 books, or did you?
No, actually, when I wrote the book, it was 4.
And that's kind of what I'm running into now.
And the other 5
you had a timeline, and you finished the first book, and you're like, I only made it this far.
Yeah. And
exactly what I'm doing right now.
The other 5 I actually just wrote down like day before yesterday. Who I want to do books on. So
that's so coincidental that this happened, because I literally just encountered this, like, I think on my Monday sprint, where I was just like, I've come to realize that I might have more than just 3 books here. Because I've already hit 95 or 90, I'm at 92,000 words. And I've only gotten to like, it's not even a quarter. It's like a sixth of the storyline.
Yeah.
So, and I don't even know if, and this, like, okay, so your first book, were you able to put everything in it that will explain the next 9 books, or did you encounter the problem where you're going to have to put in information in the next coming books?
No, I'll have to put information in the next coming books. What's nice is, it tells the basic story in the first one, you know, how they became and stuff like that. But each book is going to they go together, but they stand alone.
Okay, so you don't have to depending on each character's storyline with each book.
Basically, so like the first book is Zaylan Sierra, The second book is where is it? Is Roland, which is Zale's brother and Angel. And then the third book is his sister.
How do you not have a book Bible?
I'll have one this weekend. I'm working on that this weekend. I know. I have it up here, and I have it. I mean, I have it on the wall with who's with who and all
I
this.
just had a
sticky note from my best friend
of you at the end of this whole thing, and this poor little like book that you half-assed threw together, and it's like torn up and in pieces, and you're like, I didn't realize how important this would be. I don't know why, but I like see this vision of you just like, if I had known, I would have put more care. So I don't know if that's my psychic sense foreshadowing that maybe you need to don't just throw this together. Make sure.
Oh, no.
But I see it being so well used.
I'm sure it will be, because I'm like the sticker note queen. So I will.
It's not even that. Like, I see the page. Like, it looks like this book is probably 100 years old, and it's only like 5, right? Because it's like stained and drawn on and erase marks and brown, and like it's like, what did you do? Throw this thing outside in the dirt for 5 days? Like, seriously, it looks like it is so well used. So just know that from what I'm seeing, it's going to be which means it's also a good sign, because that means that you probably are going to produce the next couple books if that's your notes are that well used.
Well, I have book 2, the first draft, completely done. I just set that aside. I'm working on book 3's draft outline right now. Not even the draft, just the outline of book 3 right now until March 1st, and then I'll go back to book 2, and it's on my wish list now. Yay!
Cora added it to her wish list. And Exotica, have to run. Super busy day, but you both have a great interview session. No problem, Exotica. You have a good day. We will be doing sprints after the interview, but we wanted to cover this today because, if it's out and it's been produced and you can buy it, I wanted to get it out there. So one second to last thing. What surprised you the most about yourself during this process?
That I had an attention span long enough to write something.
And did you find a difference in yourself between the writing process, the editing process, and the publishing process?
Yeah, the writing process, I mean, that's pretty much free form for me. It's get everything down on paper. And editing, I actually had to buckle down and actually really focus on how my wording was and how I phrased everything and where I put everything, because I had to rearrange a couple of scenes. And I think there was like 1 or 2 characters that I actually got rid of because they just didn't make sense.
Did you find any joy in the publishing process? Other than the negative, which might end up being a positive of publishing or dolly?
No, I enjoyed the setting up for the publishing process. I did a trade and barter with Sako for my formatting, and she did a great job at formatting once we could get the files to work right. And and no, it was actually really easy. I made the cover myself. I did pretty much everything else except for the formatting. So nice. I liked it. I enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoying it. I'm learning about the marketing. I may be a little slow on it, but I know what I'm doing. I kind of know what I'm doing with the marketing now. Okay,
then how soon can we expect the sequel? The second book, then?
Book 2 should be ready to publish. Since I'm moving in the end of June, I'm thinking book 2 should be ready to publish by the end of the year, if not the beginning of next year again, like around the same time, if not a little earlier. So
very nice. So is there anything else that you wanted to add that maybe we didn't cover that you can think of?
Not that I can think of. I know my brain just went, I flatlined.
And this is why we have questions, folks. This is why
because we talked about sequels. I have 9 of them coming up, but like I said, they're not, you can read them in any order. They're all connected because in each book you're going to see similar characters from other books. Funny story is my friend who...
So the storyline isn't necessarily going to bleed over, but the characters
but the characters will.
Okay.
And like I said, funny story is a friend of mine was reading, she was my critique partner, and her daughter was kind of reading over her shoulder, and she found the word sardonic, which means sarcastically, which she argued with her mom, she's like 16, argued with her mom that sardonic wasn't a real word. Well, she made her look it up. So she realized it was. So now the joke is I'm going to put sardonic in each book just for her. So at some point in every book, the word sardonic is going to be used just because of Zoe. So.
You know, that reminds me of a late night episode of, I forget who it was, but there was an actress who called, I think, I don't know if it's, I forget who it was. God, I'm so bad with names. But basically, he said that snuck was a word, and she was just like, it was Conan O'Brien, because she was like, Conan, you should know snuck isn't a word. You went to Harvard. And he pulled out the dictionary and he's like, snuck. The past tense of sneak, and I was just like thinking to myself, listening to it, going, "Wait, snuck is a word?" But evidently, this was like from a while back. But that just totally reminded me of that situation where it's just like,
so that's a little Easter egg, because in every book the word sardonic is going to get used. So
you should put it on the back of the book somewhere.
Just real lightly sardonic,
or even in the prelude, like one book you should put in the prelude, one book you should put it on the back, one book you should put it in like the thank you.
But yeah, it's going to be in there
one
somewhere.
book is in the title. They're like, enough with this word already,
right? But it's only because she was so animate about the fact that it wasn't a real word. So yeah,
well, I kind of like that with snuck now. I'm just like,
I do
you know how often I use that word now, where I was
actually,
like, I snuck in.
I wrote the word snuck and my Scrivener did not recognize it. I would have to put it in as a
Well, according to the like Oxford dictionary, the abridged version has it in it, but the one that nobody applies goes with anymore, because it's so like critical and against half of the values of modern day society that we might as well just go with the ghetto dictionary at this point. Yeah, so I don't think it's in the abridged, because my mother had the same argument about certain words that didn't exist, like learned. For the longest time, she's like, you can't learn anything. And I was just like, it's a word. And for the longest time, her and I argued over it, and then ended up in college. It was a word. It's now a word. Even the computer recognizes it. So it's like, yeah. Old school versus new school.
Right.
So are you ready to get into some sprints?
Sure, I can bring up my Scrivener
if you want, or you can bow out gracefully and I can continue on with.
No, I can do sprints with you. I don't have a problem with that.
Because let me get this restarted. Because I have about, what time? I have to work at 7, I think. What? No, I didn't tell you to start. I told you to restart back to the beginning. Thank you. I think I work at 7 tonight. Yes, I work at 7. So we can get this going. We can do a couple of sprints and get some work done, which I would like to do because I haven't worked on my book today and I need to. So
maybe I should get started on my book Bible.
I am going to go I am going to go use the potty real quick because it has been 34 minutes and yeah, pee break. I should have peed before we started the stream, but we're professionals. We all saw how the stream started, right? Right. It was awesome. Anyway, so we're awesome. We're wonderful.
We got this.
We got this. All right. So guys, in 25 minutes on the clock, you just can't see it, but I swear it's there. In 3, 2, 1, sprint. Don't forget to mute yourself. All right. How'd you do?
590 in the outline. Don't look at me like that. I was on a roll. I was really getting into it.
Well, fine, Miss Braggy. Have to like beat
You
everybody
asked.
up. No, it's fine. It's fine. Shut everybody up. It's fine. I had to do some personal care. I couldn't even. Anyway, no, seriously, 500 words. That's props, girl.
590 for an outline. So it's just basically notes, but it was 590. I was pretty impressed.
Still though, but all right, okay. So my question is now that you're writing in the outline, are you understanding kind of like the importance of why maybe you should have done this at the beginning?
Yeah.
Lessons learned. Why do I have a feeling that book Bible for book number 2 is going to be like on point? I don't know why.
Oh, probably because it's going to be added to book 1.
Probably, more than likely. Well, I didn't get many words done, but I was able to get a couple details done in chapter 42, and I'm starting on, because I just looked at my book Bible to start on the next chapter and realized I didn't cover this chapter in my book Bible. So that's what I was doing too. How coincidental! Freaking coincidental magic is like, I don't know, Jeannie, how many times in coffee have you seen coincidental happen in my life? It's
well, look at that day that you and I were playing off each other on TikTok. Oh, you want to hear something so sweet though? What? My brother follows me on TikTok and he sent me my latest video of me showing my book. And he goes, look, this chick has the same name as you. You should check out her book. And I went, yeah, maybe, but you know, she's stealing my name and my book title. He goes, yeah, I bet she worked really hard at it though. It was his way of saying congrats.
Report and block. Report and block.
He goes, you should check her out. And I said, yeah, I bet you she worked really hard on that to get to where she's going, huh?
Yeah, you know.
But it was so cute. He's like 11 years younger than me, so it's like it's funny because he's the youngest, I'm the oldest, and we're like the closest of all of us kids, and it's like just the jokes between the two of us. But it was so cute because all of a sudden I got, you should check this chick out, and I looked and it's my video.
Show your book, man. Dude, this girl has a really cool book. You should check it out. Oh,
and her name is so similar to yours, because I do have it published under J Noble, as which I'll be publishing permanently as J Noble, but it's like he's so cute about it. He goes, by the way, congrats. I'm like, thanks.
You should do JB Noble.
Ha ha ha.
Just kidding. Anyway, well, Cora came slamming in with 423 words. Why am I not surprised that those of us in the coffee crew that were actually there this morning are like actually working today?
Right.
Why am I like totally not surprised about that? Like totally, like us, like working girls getting our work done. Yeah, granted, both of you just blew me out of the freaking water. But hey, 15 minutes of that break, I was doing my own thing. Okay.
Right.
I had to step out for a minute. Anyway,
productivity is productivity. It doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly. And you know, even if it means just, you know, taking a break. Brain fart.
I had that moment.
Well, it's like I've been going for an hour already, and it was just like, whoa, okay, do we want to get back into sprints? Is that what we want to do?
Whatever you want to do.
I mean, we could talk about a little bit of gossip if you want.
Sure, what are you going to gossip about?
This whole revelation that Princess Diana and Ghislaine Maxwell are connected, which is something you haven't seen that.
No.
Somebody just reported on it that evidently Ghislaine Maxwell and Miss Diana did not get along too well. And, you know, my conspiracy brain started running with the fact that didn't Diana get killed because she was wasn't there rumors about her wanting to stop a child sex trafficking something?
I don't know.
And now now there's this information that Ghislaine Maxwell didn't get along with Diana.
Uh-oh.
And it's just very interesting that the Your Majesty is just so quickly bowing out of the whole endeavor. I don't know. My conspiracy mind running 100 miles a minute. So I heard that come up and I was just like, wait, what? Because I made a prediction when this whole Prince Andrew thing first started.
Mhm.
First of all, my first prediction was the girl doesn't want money. This is not going to, like, she doesn't care about the money at this point. I feel like that she's advocating for other voices that took the money, that regret it. And number two, that this ultimately was going to reveal the truth about a very, very dark connection to the truth about things. And they're not going to be able to keep it covered after this whole case finishes. And part of it has to do with that little black book. A lot of people aren't realizing that little black book, if you actually pull up all the names and put all the connections together and put together where they're from and what they did for a living, there's going to be a spider web of information there that's like the L word. It's like that, the L, you know, in the L word, how they had it's going to be like that. It's going to be like, oh. And then it's going to be like the Shane and that other girl competition thing where there's going to be two names that just seem to be very, I don't know. That's my prediction. And, you know, I made a prediction not too long ago, and y'all can go look at it on my TikTok, that I said that the queen was probably going to pass off her crown during her jubilee. I just think it's very interesting that she announced that she's hoping that everybody will accept Camille as queen consort. So I have questions. Of course, none of this is based on fact. I'm a psychic. Speculation, pure speculation. I have no proof of anything. However, I just think it's very ironic that a lot of the predictions that I've already made have come true, and I have seen this one for a while, and now there's just little tidbits coming out on YouTube press, connecting, making the spider web themselves. So I'm wondering how far the spider web is going to go down a rabbit hole, because I do not see this. The funny thing is a lot of people are saying that this whole Prince Andrew thing is going to sweep under the rug real quick. I don't see it happening that way. I see this blowing not only something about the whole Diana situation, but blowing up something about the TriStar and Britney Spears situation here. There's a trifecta here that is connected. And so Britney doing her thing smashed one side of that triangle, and no triangle sides can stay supported when one side is smashed. So the walls come tumbling down. And I've seen this for a while. Like middlemen are going to be gone. The middle people that tried to do the, oh, well, I put you in connection with this person, so you owe me money for it, is there in about 5 years, that position is going to be obsolete. Because that's where they're going to find out is all the problems. That's it. Like, it's not the big namers. It's the little bugs that run behind the scenes and do all the wheelings and dealings. So, and that little black book has all of the little names. So I'm hoping that the feds, there's somebody working with the feds that's going to go, by the way, here's how these all connect together. Truthfully, if they were smart, it's like, get some of these trolls out here on this freaking internet that are able, like, some of these people sitting in their homes are better investigators than, you know, some of these ones that are paid. It's like, dude, I'd be seeking these people out going, hey, you want to work for us? I'll pay you to do it. Give you the resources. Let's see how good you are. So, but that's my little prediction rant for
today.
Is yeah. And and what's also funny is when Britney's team announced that they were doing the financial investigation, I started seeing a list of names like slowly accumulate. And over the time, I finally realized that this list of names are all people that benefited off of Britney. And then the list of names I started realizing are people's careers who became successful and established within 3 to 5 years after Britney's after her conservatorship. And the hard part about this is I don't think any of these people realize what happened. I don't think any of them realized where the financial backing came from. I think it was the middlemen moving money around and making it seem like it came from A and B when it actually came from C. And it's going to be one of those revelations where people in the industry really start questioning who to trust.
Yeah.
And that's the core of it, is it's coming down to, you're not allowed to sweep shit under the rug anymore. You're not allowed to, the littlest people have the biggest voice. And our generation we're too good. Our generation taught our kids to not to figure out their own answers. Like when we grew up, when we asked our parents a question and then they gave us an answer, we couldn't go to Google and look it up and go, no, you were wrong. Google says
Right.
this. We had to take what they said. The generation that's now in their 20s were raised on being able to Google everything. That's why it's not going to work, that you give them the answer that you think they're going to hear. Because the older generation, 40, like 50 and older, they're used to just giving you an answer and you settling with it. They're not used to being called on their bluff. And we're now watching a lot of it come, even with the essay assault, the accusations and all that stuff. They're not putting up with this kind of thing anymore. Like having money and having a name no longer allows you to not take accountability, be held accountable for your actions.
Exactly.
And that's how it used to be. It used to be just because you had a name, like blacklisting. Anybody who's worked in the industry knows that blacklisting is a real thing. And there's so many talented people that's why I support Instagram and all that, the YouTube and the smaller content creators support, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, is because I've watched in the industry very, very, very talented people not want to do the couch calls and literally get blacklisted. And it's just like, yeah, you can't. And I love it, because this is part of why the wall comes a tumbling down, because without these platforms, they'd still be able to do these massive manipulations behind the scene. And that's why everybody in the industry is related to each other. I mean, the truth is everybody in the industry is related to each other. I mean, even JoJo Siwa is related to Meghan Trainor. So, I mean, Miley Cyrus is related to Dolly Parton. I mean, if you go around the chain of command, the truth is everybody's cousins or second cousins or grandchildren or parents or
godparents, because Dolly is her godmother.
It really is ridiculous. Like, yeah. That's another reason why I left the industry, because I realized that you're not going to make it unless you already know somebody who's related. You have to be related to somebody who's already in the industry. And that's another thing that's not going to happen anymore, is you guys can't keep it lined in your pockets anymore. And not only that, but that whole rodeo of pulling old footage and putting it back on new, formats and displays is proving actually exponentially to be the worst idea ever with the Kardashians. I mean, how much stuff is being exposed with them right now? The stuff that was okay 20 years ago is not okay now. And so the whole industry is just, it's going to be rewritten and flipped on. The entire industry is flipping on its head. It's going to be rewritten by the end of the year. And it had to do with Britney. And I love the woman for it. And there's a lot of people that are going to love her for it, but there's also a lot of people that are up for a very, very, very big shock.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong and blowing air out of my ass and, and be proven wrong by, the end of the year. Like, you were wrong. I might be wrong. But if I'm not, that's what I see. So what is Bonnie getting thoughts of a fairy tale retelling with this combo?
I think it was the Princess Diana thing.
Well, heck, take what I just said, see if you can make a storyline out of it.
Oh, it wouldn't be that hard.
It wouldn't be that hard. All right, so are we ready for another sprint now that I just rambled on? I think this is going to be our last one, because I do have to get to work. So, and by the time we finish this sprint, I'll have probably about an hour before I have to get to work, which will be perfect time to meditate and get centered. So, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Miss Jeannie. I was like, why am I asking you? It's my channel. Because
I have no idea.
I was raised to be polite to my guests.
You know, my husband said the first time he met me, it was like the first week he was around me, he goes, "You are the most polite person I have ever met." Because I said yes, no, thank you, please, all the time. That's
You
how
were
I
raised
was
right.
raised. My dad was from the South. It was yes sir, no sir. You know, I was raised to be polite.
My mom was a teacher. My dad was a cop. And if it wasn't there, I took karate for 12 years. So yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Yeah, that's how it was. What is this?
We take Google's word for it. Yes, we do. Unfortunately, sometimes that's still false information.
It's true, but the truth, like how many times have, but the fact that that children nowadays have a secondary source to pull up
Oh yeah.
to compare the answer to, our parents didn't have to deal with that. Our
No.
parents didn't have to deal with being proven wrong to their face by their own child. That's a level of humility that all of us at 40 years or younger have already dealt with, is a
Mhm.
child coming up to us and proving us wrong. And a lot of the older generation that I see they still like, and I think for another part of the rant, I think that's another reason why our generation is so open to new ideas, because we were able to prove our parents wrong, so we didn't take their word for it. But the older generation, they had to take their parents' word for it. They couldn't be proven wrong, so they came up against a generation that could prove them wrong, and they didn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah. I'm
They were
that
like, what?
generation that's half and half. Half the time I couldn't do it, and now I can.
And it's like,
Good
wait,
thing.
who are you? And as a parent, it's almost like, who are you to tell me I'm wrong? Because the truth is also there's been times where I thought I was 100% right. Somebody Googled it, showed it to me, and I was like, oh crap, I was wrong. But I took it as, oh crap, I'm wrong. I noticed the older generation, even with proof in front of them, will be like, no, no. And it's
Right.
like there's a harder acceptance of being proven wrong. I don't know. Times are changing. If you don't keep up, you're going to be left behind. All right. So, with that philosophical piece of information, on to the 25-minute sprint. And like I said, guys, this will be our last one because I gotta be focused and everything for my clients. So, 25 minutes on the clock. You just can't see it. It actually is there in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. And don't forget to mute yourself. Did I seriously just do that? I did. Wow. Date yourself. Date yourself, Kibby.
No.
Good job.
At least didn't get up and try to do the Running Man. Yeah. I remember doing that when I was in school. Yeah.
Anyway, how did you do, girl? How did
you do? First I sliced up on my potato for sweet potatoes, and then I got 433 words.
Nice. I got 565. Booyah!
My total for today is over 3,000 words, though. So that's pretty damn good.
My total for today is 563 words.
My normal total for days are usually like 300.
Mine's probably more because I haven't really been counting because I'm kind of just doing like short edit through the whole thing. But you know, look who popped in.
I saw that.
Sako, hello, lady. Miss Sako, hello. Oh wow, I missed a couple of great comments here. Hello, Paget Farmer. Thanks for having sprints. You're very welcome. We're here to do it on Friday nights. And Sako popped in. And you said hi to Sako. And I have to be a part of the replay crew. Haha. Yes. So since we have that up, y'all remember to like and subscribe, do the YouTubey things, keep that algorithm happy, you know, when we do sprints and pop-ups and things like that, it'll let you know. And yeah, to my replay crew, I love you guys. Thank you for coming in. I always see those view count numbers go up. I mean, I know there's not 30 people watching while I'm live streaming, so I know the replay crew is there, and I love you guys. Thank you for being there. And Paget Farmer comes in, kind of a great way to do it. Interview for inspiration, then boom, go write something. You know, this might be a way to do things. So sad I missed the interview, but I'll replay as well. Yes, see, and that's why we have it, so you can replay. Hi, Hayden. Hey, Hayden. Haven't seen you in a minute. And Cora's keeping up with the rest of us at 492 words. A new and final chapter started. Hell yeah. Along with interruptions, but honestly, when does Cora not have interruptions?
Right.
It's almost like she needs to start letting us know when she's like, I actually went 25 minutes without. I don't think that'll happen for her, truthfully. But, you know.
I know what that's like. I had 3 kids all at one time, and it was impossible. It was hard to write when I had all 3 kids.
Well, I'm going to pop this back up here just in case for all of you. Here, the link for Jeannie's book is in here. And you know what I'm going to do real quick? Can you
want me to put it back on?
Private chat? Yeah, send it to me in private chat real quick because I can update the YouTube thingy and add it into here on the under the description. So it'll be there for you guys.
Sweet.
So
it's only happened one stream with no interruptions. Yeah. I can't write when my hubby is home because he'll sit because his computer's behind me and he'll just babble at me and not realize that I'm working, even though you can hear my keyboard because it sounds like a typewriter. And it does. It looks and sounds like a rainbow typewriter. And I
love that.
And he's like, starts babbling at me. I'm like, you know, I don't get anything done when you're home, right? This is why I work when he's at work because
of I've been in the same boat before because when my roommate's gone, that's when I can actually do sprints.
Yep.
And it's not letting me do it. Okay, well, I will add it after the fact since I already have it in here. I'm just gonna add it over here. Paste it. Okay, so I have the link. I will add it into the description box after we end the broadcast. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you, Jeannie, for coming in and sharing about your book and interviewing with me today on this Friday night.
I had a blast.
So now let's all go out and party like the young kids do, because that's what we're all doing after this, right? No, I'm going to work. So
my form of partying is take my bra off and curl up with a book on the chair while I eat dinner.
You sound like a 7-year-old lesbian woman.
I know. I went out last weekend. I went to the adult toy bingo last weekend and had fun, but it's not this weekend. So
well, that's okay. I was going to say, I see you going out and partying more than me, so I don't want to hear it. All right. So that's the end of our stream, guys. Thank you all for joining us. I am Kibby. I am your lesbian tube.
Oh, I love you.
All right, so I'm creating a whole new form of YouTube, guys. Lesbian tube. Let's go. Let's do this. I know there's enough of us out there that would love to have our own YouTube. Anyway, no, I'm your Authortube, lesbian psychic stoner. Thank you for joining me for our sprint tonight and for the interview. Catch me Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for writing sprints, and find me on TikTok, Instagram, all the socials. They're linked down below, along with Jeannie's social, like her YouTube channel as well. And I will be adding her beastly link. So, ta-ta for now, y'all. And we'll see you next time.